My name is Susan Smith, and I was diagnosed in 2013 with breast cancer, about stage 1 or 2. The immediate impact of my cancer diagnosis was enormous fear and worry, and I couldn't sleep at night. And for a month, I was just, up all night, and I knew that it was very scary until I made some changes in my thinking. And once I did that, and I made it into an adventure, my family kind of got on board. After my diagnosis, the treatments that I was looking at were the standard care. And I immediately realized I didn't want to do any of those. So fortunately, I watched a TV show with a doctor that recommended other options. So then I didn't do radiation, chemo, or biopsy. And I did other tests to determine whether I had cancer and what stage. And you can do that without biopsies. I immediately found out about a place where there were a lot of integrative doctors. And so I went there. In fact, we phoned them and they said, "Get here right away. Do not have any surgery or anything. Get here immediately." And so my husband and I went. And immediately they did blood work and they analyzed everything, and they told me that I was, I needed to get off gluten, and, my diet had to change immediately. And even though it was a little challenging, my family got behind me and we started changing, and now we're vegans. And so we just changed everything that we ate. I did a lot of prayer work and internal work. And my doctors at the clinic where I go, they encourage me to do things for my lymph, which was rebounding. So, I went through all of those different types of protocols, and a lot of supplements. And I was, low in many areas because I ate a lot of carbs and sugar. And so I just completely changed my diet. And that was in 6 years ago when I was 70, and now I'm 76, and I feel just so healthy and better, even though I probably have still some cancer. The first changes I felt in my body were actually what people saw in me. I didn't really feel it at first. Robert, who is very, very close to me and watches me, said, "Susan, you're getting better." And I said, "I don't quite feel it yet." So I just stuck with it. And it wasn't until someone told me about cannabis and I started taking that, then I started sleeping. And I slept like a little baby. And I could feel my body healing. So that difference in sleep was so important to me. So even now, I take a little bit. I don't smoke it or anything. I just take a little drop on cracker every night. Robert, he has grown the cannabis because I wanted to make sure it was all organic. And we're still growing it. And I take salve and I use a little bit of cannabis at night. And that sleep, I think, has really helped, along with, of course, all the other treatments. My cancer journey was very influenced by watching various webinars. And immediately I found out about Truth About Cancer. I think I was just looking online and I found out about it. And I followed all of their series, and I take all their notes. And so I share them with my doctor, who's very supportive of the Truth About Cancer. And so I, started taking Asian supplements, all kinds of different things. And I'm so very, very grateful. And I know the Bollinger story. And again, it just warms my heart, because I know when you lose so many people in your family from cancer, and then you find out what you can do for everyone. And I mean, they've helped me so much right along with my doctors. My current status at the age of 76 is that I feel like I'm a kid again. And I know I just had a thermogram and a mammogram. They can no longer find my tumor. But I believe in this regimen so strongly that I still feel that there are circulating tumor cells in my body, as they are in most people's. And So I'm not going to get off my eating really well and exercise and prayer work and looking at my past issues. So all those things are very important to me, and, you know, and being close to my higher power. And so I feel probably better in my life than I have since I was a teenager. And just a little side story, I went to my high school reunion, and they all go, "What are you doing? You look like you looked in high school." And that was just a couple weeks ago. And I was like, got it. I wish I could tell everyone about how to change their lifestyles, because it doesn't just help with cancer. My recommendation to a cancer patient with a recent diagnosis would be stop. Stop. Don't panic. Don't run to surgery. Don't run to, I hate to say this, but regular oncologists that tell you you're going to die if you don't do this in a week or whatever. Take a deep breath and research. Look for integrative doctors. Start looking at the truth about cancer. And of course, we know there's so many more webinars now on various topics related to cancer and wellness. So again, it would be to stop, take a deep breath, work with, and you've got to have some support. So a husband, a wife, a friend, whatever, and have them help you, because the stress is great. And if you have to travel a long way to a doctor, you've got to have somebody help drive you. I stopped driving. You know, I started trying to de-stress. De-stress is very important. And of course, when you get a cancer diagnosis, stress goes through the roof. And like they mentioned today, was have time for laughter. So you've got to watch those movies and be silly. And my son, when I was taking the cannabis care treatment, he says, "Mom, you've never been funnier. You ought to take this all the time," you know, which I don't, but it really helps.